The Morning Sports Desk, available on demand on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, and WadenaRadio.com.
Welcome to another state tournament special of the Morning Sports Desk. I'm CJ Baumgartner, joined by Parkers Prairie Panther head football coach Mike Johnson. After his team's big victory over Upsala Swanville Area, 33-0 at the state quarterfinal football game up in Rock Ridge in Virginia. You guys went up on the range, Mike. You guys got a dominant victory as the 4 seed in the North over the top-seeded North team in USA. First of all, congrats on the win. How are you guys feeling?
Thank you. Super excited for the opportunity that we have this week. Just having that experience for our team and those kids, traveling almost to Canada for the quarterfinal game, and just really excited for the opportunity and the challenge that we have ahead of us this week.
Yeah, I mean, when things got rolling 2 plays into the game, you guys get a fumble on recovery on defense. A few plays later, you punch it into the end zone from 21 yards. I mean, was there a point in the game when you guys were like, oh, there's no way we're losing this game? Or just kind of what was it like on the sideline for that game as everything kept going on?
Well, at halftime, we talked to the kids about keeping the foot on the gas because USA is obviously a very talented team, and they can put up points really quickly with some of the athletes that they have, especially with their passing game. And so it wasn't until they subbed in their JV that we really were trying to, take the foot off the gas because, again, there's a reason why those teams are in those games, and so we have to keep playing. We have to keep, stick with the game plan, and until the clock says 0, we got to keep going.
I mean, there was a lot of things that happened in that game. You guys win 33-0. It's a state quarterfinal game. Your defense pitched a shutout. You had record-breaking performances, and obviously the one that some Panther fans notified me about right in front of the press box during the game is that Mason Boesl broke the record for rushing yards in a season. Just let's start with that. I mean, just how special has this year been for him?
Yeah, it's been awesome. Last year splitting carries, with David Revering and Joe Johnson, and teams weren't able to kind of narrow in on one specific person. And this year, I think teams kind of came into the season, knowing that they have to try to shut him down. And he's taken that as a challenge and really, rose to the occasion. And also, it's he'll be the first one to credit his teammates and the people up front that are blocking for him, and also just things that are setting up, for other guys to be successful as well. So he knows that if they're targeting, trying to shut him down, that it's going to open up for somebody else, and that's kind of been the case throughout the season this year, and especially in the postseason. But I think that record was back from 1994. And so just, being able to break that record along with the other records that he's accomplished this year, just huge accomplishment. We're super proud of him, and he's very well deserving.
Yeah, and on defense as well, he also came up with some big plays throughout you guys' postseason run. But more to the defense broadly, you guys pitched a shutout on that state quarterfinal game, and it really looked like Upsala Swanville did not have a ton of answers for what you guys were putting out there. What on defense was working for you guys so much? They had a little bit of success running early, but they went to the pass and they had nothing there. When they went back to the run, you guys made the adjustments. I mean, what went into that defensive success?
Well, the big thing was the game plan was just, obviously stop the run right away. We knew that they were going to come and line up in power, and they had a couple big, they've got some big backs, some big fullbacks, and we knew that they were going to try to come right at us. And the second part of the game plan was making sure that we didn't give up any big plays over the top. They've got a, really dynamic wide receiver quarterback. They have a very good passing game. And so we knew that if we could kind of get them to be one-dimensional, that we would be able to bring a little bit more pressure. And luckily for us, that's the way things kind of turned out. And just varying different coverages. We had Ben Wagner, number 11, lock up on number 5, that Primus, had a spectacular season, and Ben just did an outstanding job throughout the night, and of kind of keeping things in front of him and making tackles when he need to. So.
Yeah, and you guys got that victory up in Rock Ridge, and the travel, the whatever. I know that's a lot, but you guys had a good contingent of fans up there. What did it mean for those fans who made the trip to see that game, and what does it mean for the Parkers Prairie Panther community to get to a state semifinal game? And if you can say, I'm putting you on the spot here, when's the last time Parkers Prairie's won a state tournament game for football?
Never. This is the first. Actually, this is the first time there's even I think that we've scored in a state tournament in football. And so to be able to do that within a couple plays of the first, the first quarter was, that in itself was a pretty cool accomplishment. But, then seeing the fans in the stands there and driving all that way, and, it was awesome. It was really fun to see. And we are so fortunate to have such a supportive community that, not just with football, but with our school and all of our activities. Super fortunate to have them. And one of the cool things is that I think they had 3 or 4 different businesses that had watch parties, and those places were packed. And so it just, it was pretty special. And then, after the game, all the messages from, former coaches, alumni, I don't think some of the kids know how big of a deal it actually truly is. And I think we've had 110 years of football, and the first time that we're, won a state football game and are advancing to the semifinals. It's a really, really big boost for the community, for our school. And it also just helps, keep kids out for football. They want to, they see that, this team is successful and they're going to be playing at US Bank Stadium. And so we're hoping that that's inspiring some of those younger kids to be able to say, hey, I want to get here someday and continue. This is what you have to do to get here. So been super exciting and just fun to be around in the area here and with our community.
Super fun. It's what it's all about. Mike, you guys have had a team that's had that veteran experience. You guys have a really good number of kids out for football this year. I mean, how much has that meant just to these seniors, to this big class, that they're going out on this high note, they're setting the stage, doing all that stuff, but also just how much has their experience shown throughout this season and throughout the playoffs? Because there's just a lot of savvy plays that it feels like only seniors who have played as much football as they've played have been able to kind of make some of these plays. Have you seen that?
Yeah, to be honest with you, sometimes it's a little scary because these guys, you wonder if they're locked in, if they're ready to go, if they, they're messing around and having fun and staying loose and practice, and then in pregame, and then all of a sudden when it's showtime, they dial in when they need to. And so sometimes we kind of joke as coaches, like, man, I don't really know how to read them right now. And I think a lot of that is because of the success that they've had in not just in football, but, in baseball. They've played at Target Field. They've, been to state wrestling tournaments. They, junior legion, senior legion. I mean, they've played in a lot of these big games, and they try to, I think they, kind of tell themselves this is another game. It might be in a different spot, and it might be a bigger stage or excitement leading up to the game. But, when it comes down to it, it's a game of football, and it's supposed to be fun. And, that goal of our playing our best football at the end of the season, our best game each week. They've really, bought into that, and they've demonstrated it. So it's been pretty cool to see. And we're just super fortunate to have such good leadership and quality kids on our football team. So that's something that we're very fortunate to have.
Yeah, you mentioned the competitiveness, the drive, all that stuff. I mean, these are kids that have played in state championship baseball games. These are ones that have been to the state tournament for wrestling and all that other stuff. I mean, you see that competitiveness shine through, and these are kids that have been on some of these big stages. And what's going to be the balance for going down to US Bank Stadium between staying in the moment, staying locked in, ready to play, while also enjoying it because you don't get to this spot very often?
Yeah, I think anybody that is going to walk into that stadium is going to have a little bit of, an overwhelming feeling and, maybe some extra butterflies with stuff. But I think it's just kind of doing the things that we've been talking about all season that, hey, no matter what, at the end of the day, once the ball is kicked off, it's, the same rules, it's the same goals, it's the same type of game. And I think just kind of our leaders have kind of naturally just, maybe that's part of them, not looking like they're as locked in at times, because they want to enjoy the moment. They don't want to get too stressed out about it. They don't want to, overthink it. And, I think that's kind of been, says a little bit about who they are. And, Fargo Dome state, quarterfinal, they were just really excited and locked in when it really mattered. And so, that's a goal for this weekend. And we'll talk to the kids about walking in there and, taking it all in and enjoying it and realizing that you guys earned a spot to be here. You guys earned an opportunity and we're going to make the most out of it and we're going to give it all we got. So
it's felt like you guys have gotten better with each playoff game, and maybe the scores don't always reflect that, but each win has felt more dominant than the last. To try and do that again, you got a tough task in Minneota to get to the Prep Bowl. What do you guys have to do? What's the keys to success?
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday during our film session that, all 4 teams that are left in the state tournament for Class A are very good football teams. And so we have to continue to do the things that got us here, moving the chains on offense, being able to put some points on the board quick, and then playing, sound defensively, keeping things in front of us, not, making the other team earn everything that they got. And I think, Minneota's on a 30 or something game win streak and just have an outstanding program. And, we kind of talked about how, you can take it one of two ways, or you can take it as a challenge, or you can, say, oh man, they're 30 game win streak. And, we just talked about how, the results need to speak for themselves. You play your best football, you play your best game of the season, the results will speak for themselves. And at the end of the day, that's all that really, that you can really do. So, I think the kids are excited for the challenge. I think that they're, looking forward to, being able to play a team that's a defending state champion. And so, in order for us to be state champs, we have to win this game. So
we're talking with Mike Johnson, head football coach of the Parkers Prairie Panthers. They get ready for their first ever state semifinal game, US Bank Stadium. That's coming up on the Superstation on Saturday morning, 11:30 kickoff. Coach, appreciate the time as always, and best of luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Next up on our morning sports desk, state tournament preview special covering the Parkers Prairie Panther football team as they get ready for the state semifinal game against Minneota, 11:30 kickoff. You can hear it on the Superstation K-106. We're joined with Parkers Prairie's own Mason Boesl. He's joining the morning sports desk. Mason, first of all, just what a season you've had, man. Have you thought at the beginning of the year back in August that this stuff was attainable?
Well, yeah, sure. You'd think that you can achieve greatness, but not to this extreme level, I would say.
And, when you were there and close to that milestone last week of breaking the rushing record for yards in a season, did you know that you were close? Did you have any idea, or did you kind of just wait for people to tell you what's it like when you're chasing some of these records?
We weren't really aware of how close we were. We just worried about beating USA, I'd say.
And, Coach Johnson talked about it, that, it's not just you've done a great job, but also it's been everybody else around you kind of making things happen. How much are those guys in front of you, quarterbacks, wide receivers, offensive linemen, how much are those guys a driver to your success?
Yeah, it's huge. We are good. We're good at playing as a team, and everybody's good at blocking. Everybody wants to block. We have receivers that if they're not getting the ball just thrown to them, they're still out there blocking for each other.
And on defense, too, you've made some big interceptions throughout the playoff run. On that side of the ball, what is it about the things that you do well on defense that you think make you a good defender?
I think I'm coached well and very disciplined player. That's what leads to success.
And what was that moment like? Was there a moment when you realized, hey, we're winning this football game at the state tournament, or was it when the clock hit 0?
Definitely. I think it was probably when USA put their JV in and really reality, like we're going to go play in US Bank. That's pretty awesome.
And now getting to go down to US Bank Stadium where the Vikings play, all that stuff. I mean, just how surreal of a moment is that going to be when you get down there?
I think I'll be speechless. Just crazy to believe that we're really playing the same field.
And as you get ready, just kind of what do you know about kind of this matchup on Saturday about Minneota, and kind of what do you think you guys are going to have to do to get a win?
I know the Minneota, they're a very good team. They have a crazy win streak and coached well, and I think that we need to play our best game of the year and try to compete every single down to try to win this game.
Mason Boesl of Parkers Prairie Panther football team joining us on the morning sports desk. Mason, appreciate the time and best of luck.
Thank you.
Rolling through our Parkers Prairie Panther football state tournament preview on the morning sports desk, we're joined with Ben Wagner. And Ben, I mean, what a ride it's been for you guys throughout the playoffs. It's felt like you guys have gotten better with each playoff game you guys have played. What has this run been like from playing Ashby, Brandon, Evansville to now getting ready for Minneota? Did you guys think that getting to US Bank Stadium was attainable?
I mean, yeah, it was always a legitimate goal from the beginning of the season. But, I mean, just the more time we spend together, the better we get. We're so close as a team. Like, as the season goes on, we just keep getting better. So,
and has there been a moment for you this season that's kind of stuck out as like as a favorite moment, whether it's a play you had or just a thing that you guys were able to do as a team? What's been your favorite moment of the season so far?
Well, I think it's kind of hard to just choose one moment. I mean, there's been so many, but I don't know. Just witnessing Mason breaking all these records and getting to be a part of the team during it is just cool.
And, you know, you guys faced a tough task in Upsala, Swanville area over last week in the state quarterfinal game, rather. And, you know, Coach was talking about some of the positions you guys were put in, and you specifically in coverage and all this kind of stuff. I mean, what is it you do on the defensive side of the ball that makes you tough?
I mean, I just go out there and guard the receiver. I mean, it's not, and I wouldn't it's not just on me. You know, I can't guard a receiver if they're giving the quarterback all his time. Our D-line's getting to the quarterback right away. And I'm coached well. We got such a good coaching staff on defense, so it's not just me.
And getting ready to go down to US Bank Stadium, I mean, how cool is that? Is there anything you feel like you got to do when you get down there? Do you got to do the skull chant? Do you got to like stand at midfield? I mean, what are you going to do when you get down to US Bank Stadium?
Definitely take a few pictures. I don't know. Take a few videos. I've never been there before, so I'll take it all in.
Yeah, and you guys getting ready as a team to do something no Parkers Prairie Panther football team has ever done before, and getting to a state semifinal game. How cool is that as kind of just a badge of honor for you guys that you get to go down in Parkers Prairie history like this?
Yeah, it is really cool. I mean, it's obviously never been done before. It's just cool. We're going to have our names on the wall, just making history.
Awesome. And as you guys get ready for Minneota, I mean, what do you know about these guys and what's it going to take to get a win?
Well, you know, everybody's talking about their record. Like, who cares? We're just going to play our game. They got a good running back. We're going to take care of them.
Ben Wagner of Parkers Prairie Panther football joining us on the morning sports desk. Ben, appreciate the time and best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Another morning sports desk football preview state tournament special. Here we're talking with another Parkers Prairie Panther senior. It's Joe Johnson. Hey, Joe, you guys have done a lot throughout the season. Everybody talks about Mason and the things that he's been able to do. And I think, you know, it's not also possible with the blocking and everything going around, but also the runs that you're able to do up the middle, establishing that. I mean, how much pride do you take in kind of that slow, grinded out, churning run game? How much of that do you take pride in?
Yeah, I take a lot. I mean, our blocking is really good. They get good holes for me to run through. They, I'm just kind of able to chunk it down, and then we can get in a good play so we can like get a good, sorry. It's so we can get a good play that's not just chunking. We can keep chunking and then hit a home run play. So, yeah.
Yeah, and, whether it's offensive or defensive side of the football, what's one of the areas of your game that you take the most pride in?
I'd say my offense and my kicking. I try my best so that I take every rep seriously, and I just do the best I can.
Yeah, and the kicking game has been something that you guys have been able to use as an advantage all season long for you guys. Whether it's maybe get a penalty on the 2-point try, you guys can just kick a PAT. It's no problem. You're going down to US Bank Stadium, and as we know, Vikings kickers have had some issues. Are you worried about the goalpost there at all?
Not really. I'm just kind of just worried about my ball placement and where I'm kicking, not worried about the field itself. So
how cool is it going to be, though, to be at US Bank Stadium, get to be where the Vikings play and get to do some of that stuff? How excited is it to go down there and be in that environment?
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. I'm going to have to take it all in and I just need to not take it for granted.
And, throughout the season, you guys have been able to do a lot of different things and win a lot of games. Earlier in the year, there was a point where you guys went 1-3 in the back half of the season. And maybe somebody from the outside looking in, maybe, would be like, oh, hey, what's going on with that? But, internally, you guys were able to figure things out, get things going. You played some tough teams throughout that stretch. But, when you guys started this postseason, just talk about what the mindset was for you guys going in that allowed you to get to the state semifinal game.
Yeah, I'd say our mindset was just play our best game. Our next game needs to be our best game. And I think we've done that so far. So,
and, has there been a particular moment that stuck out to you throughout the season that you're always going to carry with you?
Not really one particular moment. I mean, I love the team. We're all really good friends, and I just like playing the game. I like every game just right in front of us. Yeah.
Yeah. And, as you get down there, what do you know about this Minneota team, and what's it going to take for you guys to get into the Prep Bowl?
Yeah, they're a pretty good team. I think we just need to be the most physical team and do our job and not worry about the team specifically against us, but just to stay on our tracks and do our job.
Yeah, exactly. And for you guys, a big senior class, it's something that has been talked about with you guys all season long. What does it mean for you guys as seniors to go out this way and to make Parkers Prairie football history?
It means a lot. Just trying to get the younger classmen to stick with football, show them that it can be really fun. And yeah.
We're talking with Parkers Prairie Panthers, Joe Johnson, joining us on the morning sports desk. Joe, appreciate the time and best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
And just want to remind you as well that you can listen to the Morning Sports Desk on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, WadenaRadio.com, as well as the Superstation K-106 mobile app. And don't forget, we will have coverage of the Parkers Prairie Panther football team, 11:10 pregame Saturday morning, 11:30 kickoff for Parkers Prairie and Minneota in the Class A football state semifinal game. Winner gets to go to the Prep Bowl the next week. You can hear it on the Superstation K-106, 105.9 FM, also streaming online at WadenaRadio.com or the Superstation K-106 mobile app for all the latest in local sports. Go to WadenaRadio.com or find Sports Cow on Facebook.
The Morning Sports Desk, available on demand on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, and WadenaRadio.com.